Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name's Bryce of Life Being Free Ministries. I'm currently on my evening walk on the Sabbath, and I thought, why not do a bit of a walk and talk video? And shout out to my brother. He gave me a bit of encouragement and said I need to share some more stories because I've got loads of stories to share about my before Christ time and how I can help some people out there. So this video is along the lines of don't let money dictate your life. And I'm going to share a story right now about how I gave into greed back in my club promoting world. So if you didn't know, I used to be a club promoter in London when I used to live there. If you're interested in learning more, I got my testimony. I'll put my testimony in the description. So yeah, I want to talk about a story back in the day. So this is back in 2016. Had no concept of God or Christianity or anything like that. First, I just apologize for me squinting because the sun's like right in my face, so hopefully it's okay. But so yeah, where do I start? So I had about two and a half months left on my visa, and the same friend I just mentioned, we had a trip booked around Europe, and it was all booked, but I had no money. I was really low on the money, and I was stressing out because I was like, how am I going to afford this trip with no money? And long story short, I couldn't get like a part-time or other job at the time because my visa was about to finish and it just wasn't happening. So I had to go really, really hard on my current job, which was at the club promoting. And around this time, I had a very interesting call. So most people want to come out with me in the clubs and stuff. Most of them would text me on WhatsApp. That was the normal process. Or I would text them and invite them, right? But for whatever reason, this guy, he calls me up. He says, "Oh, hey, is this Bryce? I know she worked at these clubs. I want to come out tonight. I want to buy a table." So if you don't know, people buy, when you go to these bottle service clubs, people spend a certain amount on these tables, and you get a commission, right? So I was like, oh yes, I was kind of licking my lips on the call, right? Got to get some commission. So yeah, he sounded very smart, very slick, and he was like, oh, I'm in London just for a few days. I want to come out. I want to party with some girls and stuff. And I was a bit like, okay, and yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, what night? Such and such, being nice to him. And then the conversation started to get a bit strange, and he was requesting he really wants to party with attractive models and good-looking women. And I was like, yep, well, I'm always bringing women. That's part of my job, right? Pretty much as a club promoter, that's pretty much what you are. You're a glorified pimp. And I said, yep, that's the case. And he's like, no, I specifically want some models on my table. And look, I was like, yeah, I can't promise that. It's that whoever comes out the night comes out the night, right? And he's like, well, if you put in the effort, I'll pay you £2,000 per girl. And because of my situation, low on cash, need the money for this trip, licking my lips, I was like, $2,000, that's crazy. $2,000, and plus I get commission on this table. And he'd also promised we'll go out for dinner and all this thing. And he was selling me the dream, and very slick. He was from Dubai, saying he's from Dubai and a businessman and blah, blah, blah. So, I was only 25, I think, at the time. And look, and the reason why you think, oh, it just sounds too good to be true, right? And in reality it was. But the reason why I kind of believed him is I did know guys in the industry who did have very, very high clientele clients who were paying a lot of money to kind of come out with them, right? But when he was demanding all these things, I immediately said, hey, look, I'm not one of those promoters who brings these girls out to try and sleep with you, right? I'm not promising that, right? Or The only thing I can do is ask the girls I know to come out, and that, you know, whatever happens, happens. That's between you and them. I'm not that guy, and you know that industry is totally messed up, which is another story in itself. But and he agreed, but his one condition was like the girls that I bring out, he wants to see photos of them, and he wants to chat to them. And I was like, from there, I should have said no, right? I should have said no. But me being greedy, wanting the money, I was like, yeah, cool, okay. And I gave him this one girl. I can't remember. I gave him a few numbers of these girls, but one of them I was in contact with, and she was, you know, I think she was dating my friend at the time or something, and she was quite, you know, she was good looking. She was actually a signed model, and she said, yeah, I'll come out with you. I don't mind, you know, coming out with this guy, because I told her, because I pretty much like backed up this random guy who called me to her. So I put my reputation on the line. I said, oh, this guy he's good. He's a high level client of mine. He's been out for me before. He's a good guy. Blah blah blah. So I was blowing smoke up her, and you know, she agreed to come out. And I said, hey, look, do you mind? This client just wants to know who he wants to go out with, and he just wants to, like, you know, chat to you or something like that. And she's like, yeah, that's cool, that's cool. Maybe like half an hour or an hour went past after giving out the number. She like called me up. I don't know, she called me. She was blasting me on the texts, and she was like, who the heck is that guy? Like swearing and stuff, going, he was just asking for nude photos, all this bloody stuff, and like trying to like pay me for, you know, pay me to, you know, do the deed and things. And I was like, oh no. I was like, what have I got myself into here? Thankfully the other girls didn't get back to me on the same situation, but man, I just felt so bad. And what happened was, I found out, so she was so upset, she contacted like someone she knew in the industry, or someone, to investigate what the heck was going on. And he gave me a call, and I just had to confess, because he was like so upset, right? Like looking after your friend. I don't know if it was her dad or someone like that. And I said, hey, look, man, this is the story. This is what happens. And he told me, he's like, hey, I actually know this guy. He's been contacting all the promoters in London, getting like getting the contacts of the girls that are like, you know, the 10 out of 10 girls, and like blackmailing them. So one girl apparently like did actually send nudes to this guy, and he started to blackmail her, saying, hey, I'm going to put this online, you know, I want this money from you, blah blah blah. And just keep in mind, this is before like Instagram, OnlyFans was like kind of, you know, it wasn't as bad as it was now. So the thought of a girl having her nudes up online was like a big deal. And I was like, man, I felt so bad. And like, yeah, like long story short, like she pretty much was like, you know, that's a friendship lost. And I got conned. I got absolutely conned. So what's the moral of the story here, guys? Why am I sharing this story? And I haven't shared this story with like no one, I don't think. Maybe a couple of people. So what? If it's too good to be true, most likely is. But secondly, yeah, like my gut feeling knew something was up, but I still went ahead with it anyway. But the main thing is I was blinded by the money. So no matter what situation you're in, you know, you tight with money or whatever, it's not worth compromising your morals for just a bit of money, right? Like, even if that guy did show up and give me the money, and who knows, like, even that is still a bit dodgy in my mind. Like he's when you're paying that kind of money, you can't tell me a guy's not wanting something a bit extra. You know what I mean? Yeah. So this reminds me in Mark chapter 8:36. For what shall it profit a man if he gains the whole world, but he loses his own soul? So that's the story, guys, of me being a sellout promoter, you know, pretty much doing anything for money. And to be honest, I was actually one of the good promoters. I knew guys who used to sell drugs, they used to take bribes, they used to do all sorts of things. And I don't even repeat the kind of stuff that I knew promoters were doing, right? It's a evil industry. It's dark, it's twisted. It's just like the entertainment industry with the celebrities and stuff, you know. It's crazy. But yeah, I hope that story helped you guys, and you know, put your faith in God over your finances. God's always in control and always in the plan. Always has a plan. Yeah, and just don't let money dictate what you do with your life, right? Stay true to your morals, and yeah, God will lead you. And funnily enough, bit of another testimony. Even though I didn't get that money, all that crazy stuff went down. After that stressful period, that 2.5 months of like working my ass off to get money for this trip, I managed to save up the exact amount that I needed for that holiday. So when I did my big Europe trip and I came back to New Zealand, I literally came back with zero money. That was just a real testimony, really, that God gave me the exact amount I needed to do that trip. And I still look back at that time, and man, that was a real tester on, you know, just push through and trust that, even though I didn't believe in God and have faith in God at that time, but just believe that, you know, it would happen, and it did. So anyway, guys, anyways, I will leave you guys on that note. God bless. And yeah, decided before I go, my first time ever, I went on someone else's YouTube channel. Me and my friend Clayton, we did a video about the situation with the LGBT I won't say the full name because of the YouTube stuff. If you want to check it out, I'll put it in the description below. Yeah, just had a bit of a conversation about some media clips and what's going on with people with sexual identities and things like that. All right, guys, God bless. I'll see you in the next one. If you haven't subscribed, do it now, because I'll be pumping out much more of these kind of videos, providing some wild stories to hopefully educate you guys on the mistakes that I have done in the past. All right, peace out. See ya.